YouTube channel where we discuss issues that has to do with the youths and know how to get them on track. It was a wonderful day. It's still a wonderful day. I'm so grateful to God for things that are happening. We are doing everything within our capacity and ability to be able to see how we can fight the issue of drug, which is ravaging the world. I think at this moment, I would like to say kudos to the Lagos State government, to the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, because they've done everything. We see that they are doing everything possible. They have a lot of the youth in their hearts. We see a new department that was created out of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, LASCADIA, which is Lagos State Kick Against Drugs. The department was created specifically to handle the issue of drug. So when we talk about the issue of drug, we can be able to say Sanwo-Olu is actually trying. Sanwo-Olu seems to be among the 36 states in Nigeria. The governor of Lagos State seems to be a youth-friendly state. Is the state that seems to have more interest about the youth, trying to put the youth in the right direction. So I would like to say kudos to the Lagos State government, kudos to Sanwo-Olu, kudos to the Ministry of Youth Development, Youth and Social Development, for this wonderful initiative in trying to see how they can bring the awareness of drugs, drug abuse, and how to be able to curb it. So they've really tried. They're doing great, and really appreciate what they're doing. You see, people will not really understand much about what they are doing because they seems those who don't know nothing about it, they won't know the consequences and the effect of drug abuse. I was once a drug addict. I was once an alcoholic, and also a court member. I was highly involved in the secret court, so I know what you're talking about. I know the consequences. And throughout my stay as a courtist, I know the role that the drugs play. Drugs in terms of drug, alcohol. You talk about smack. You talk about heroin. You talk about uh, there are different kind of drug. Now we have colos. We have different drugs, and it's unfortunate that it's getting worse by the day. Every day it's getting worse, the effect of drugs. So I know precisely the consequences of drugs. That's why we will do everything possible to partner with the Lagos State government through the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. You see, because you see, once you have it wrong, once you get the youth wrong, once you ignore the youth, you will destroy the nation. The easiest way to destroy the nation is to ignore the youth. Because you see, this is a common sense. You must be able to understand that if you have a 40 youth population, you have a destructive youth population. And once the youths are destroyed, then what are you gathering? Our stay here on earth is timed. We are not going to live here forever. It's just a matter of time. We will not be here anymore. And so, if you don't pay much attention, if you don't have this kind of wisdom, and you don't pay much attention to what is going on within the youthful population, then there's going to be a lot of problem. I was in a program. I was in a program today where one of the speakers were talking about having close to 4-5 million youthful population in Lagos State. Close to 4-5 million youthful population. I mean, I'm talking about from the ages of 25 to 18 years, 4-5 million. I mean, and that population is more than a lot of countries in Nigeria. So if you have 5 million youths, teenagers and youths, young adults, if you find them and you don't do anything on how to protect them, you have a destructive nation. They think it's a matter of joke. So and let me say this again. We are into it. We have rehabilitation center where we try to rehabilitate youth. That's one of the drug addicts. This is some of the function of BHF of our counseling. we give advice, we rehabilitate youth. I speak with them on a regular basis. And so I see the consequences. See, very beautiful people. There was one, we had one case one time where the guy is highly intelligent. We tried to use him in one of our movies. He's very intelligent, but once he begins to Jones, and he needs drugs, he destroys anything to the extent that he went into our house. We have a flat, a 3-bedroom flat, which we have a section for ladies. We used to have a section for the guys and the rest. He went in and destroyed the fridge that we have there, a brand new fridge, because he wanted to sell the aluminium, the different things. He had to destroy the brand new fridge so they can go and sell. And the things he wanted to sell are not even up to 5,000 naira. So he destroyed a fridge that is worth about 600,000 naira, 700,000 naira, because he was trying to pick up one or two things that is not even up to 10,000 naira because he want to buy drugs. We've seen situations where people kill their father, kill their parents, because they needed to get involved in drug. You know, I know situation of somebody people who brought armed robbers to their house to kill their father because they needed to take drug. You don't know the consequences of drug. I mean, those days when we were in drug, we did some terrible things. You know, we carried out dangerous hits. We are not thinking about life. We are not. The things we did then, I will not be able to do it now because I'll be so scared of life. Because as a day we're doing it and we don't bother ourselves. We go into dangerous places. We carry out dangerous actions, terrible actions, and this were under the influence of drugs. You know, so what the Lagos State government is doing at the moment, I think we can be able to say Lagos State is number one when it comes to the issue of drugs. Trying to stop drugs, Lagos State is number one. Because you see, if you destroy that sector, then you have destroyed continuity. Imagine a situation where 80% of your youth are on drugs. You don't have a future. You don't have a future. And the most terrible part of it is that once you say, okay, my child is not on drugs, you know, and you ignore it, and mistakenly your son or your daughter begins to get involved or fall in love with somebody who is on drugs, you see the consequences. Yes, I know on drugs, but your guy get married to somebody who is on drugs, and that's the sad part of the situation. We have courts where ladies have. I've spoken with somebody before who used to be a member of the Amazon. The Amazon is a female court, and she talks to me and tells me some of the things they normally do. That even now that she's no more on campus, she's no more in court, she's still having the effect is still on her. She's still involved in terrible things. She's a member of the Amazon. Amazon is a secret court run by ladies. So we have ladies who are on drugs. They are also on courts. And I can be able to tell you that 80% or 90% of secret court members are on drugs. 90%. We are all on drugs. This is what introduced me to drugs. Drugs and massive alcohol. And some of the actions we pull those actions because we're on drugs. You understand? So it's quite sad. We'll continue on this program again. We're looking at Elo David's book. We have been trying to review the book for some time now, 15 minutes with Elo David. We've been trying to review the books. And this is Where Are the Parents? Is the title of this book. We'll talk about the power of words. We'll talk about the power of words. I'll talk about the things you do. Remember, I said yesterday, as a young man, there are 3 things you shouldn't do. Don't sleep with somebody's wife. Don't sleep with a prostitute, and don't sleep with a relative. I just saw on social media of a young guy that died on top of the mother. He was having sex with the mother, and he died on top of the mother. There are consequences. Don't do it. Don't try it. Your relative, don't sleep with her. It's so common what is going on right now. Stop it because it's dangerous. I'm telling you from experience. Because I did all kinds of the things I did, I will not be able to even say it out in public. Because I've done some terrible things I'm not proud of, things I'm ashamed of, things that are very bloody. So that's why when I say don't sleep with somebody's wife, don't do it because I know what I'm talking about. Don't sleep with prostitute. But the prostitute you carry today now, you don't even know her. Most of these people are satanic, they are evil, they are into a different kind of cult. And I remember I told you some years ago, when I was still on campus, I think I just graduated then. But I went back to the school where I graduated from just to have a good time as a courtist then. And I remember I met a girl. I said this. I've said this thing before. I met a girl. We discussed with her, and she was she. At the end of the day, she agreed to sleep with me, and she woke me around 2:30 in the night. And those 2:30 in the night, that's when she woke me up. That's when she told me that is she not beautiful? I said, you are extremely beautiful. Why do you wake me 2 o'clock in the night to say you are not beautiful? You're among the best. And she said, I'm a fish from the water. Imagine somebody waking you up from sleep, 2:30, a girl telling you that she's a fish from the water. I looked at her and I remember exactly what I told her then. I said, I know that you're a fish from the water, but I just want you to understand that even if I have only 5 minutes to live, I'm going to make sure that I destroy your entire lineage from your father downward. I will finish it. I remember then that's when she said, no, it's not, I won't do anything because I like you. I'm saying this so that you can be able to be very careful. And most of the girls you have in this campus are from the water. And there are some girls you shouldn't sleep with. And she gave me signs that when you see these signs, try to avoid them. Because when you sleep with these girls that have these signs, there's nothing you do in life that you will ever succeed. And this is what is responsible for timely death, why people die on time. I remember I also told you that when somebody tells you father's house, some lives have been destroyed because of their involvement with this kind of girls. I remember a guy and a wife came to see me years ago because nothing was working for him, nothing, and he was so devastated. And while we were talking, I said, okay, I just told the guy, I said, please let me spend some time with your wife. Will you excuse me? And he excused me. And I told the lady, I said, why are you doing this to your husband? She said, I don't understand what you're saying. No, I said, you understand what I'm saying. Don't pretend that you don't understand what I'm saying. I said, why are you doing this to your husband? That's when she said, yes, she's from the water. She has about 5 shops. So the entire business that the man is working on, the profit go to her shops in the water. So she's making progress in the water. She's getting shops, about 5 different shops now are growing up. She's making so much money from the water. But here, physically, the husband is extremely poor, find it difficult to eat, but they are rich under there. So I looked at her and I said, don't you see that this is a very foolish action? You are rich in the water, but you are poor on earth here. So I'm telling you of the things that I know, the things I've experienced. That's why you must be very careful. Be very careful those you have sex with. Sex is just for a moment, but the consequences are devastating. That's why the Holy Book says the pleasure of sin is for a moment, but the consequences. So she told me already that be very careful with these girls, because most of these girls are from the water. I remember that as a girl also, I was discussing with her some time ago too. One of the girls, I went out with a lot of girls, so I know what I'm talking about. That's when she told me that she walks to the water. She walks with her leg, and she goes straight. Waka enter water. She do waka enter water finish. I'm not talking about the dream now, physical. I said, which kind of thing is this? It got to a stage and I was very confused. So it looked as if most of the girls I was speaking with, most of them are girls from the water. So what am I trying to say? Be very careful. Don't involve yourself with somebody's wife. Don't sleep with your relatives. Don't sleep with prostitutes. And finally, I would say, don't rape a lady. Don't sleep with a girl without her consent, because she may lay curses on you, and those curses will destroy you. Don't sleep with a girl without her consent. I remember many years ago too, there was this girl I was going out with. I kept telling her, I will marry you. She just spoke to me one day and she said, Dave, I know that you're not going to marry me. I know you are lying because you just want to have sex with me, but I want to say this. If you continue to say it, and I agree, if you don't marry me, then you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. See, because the walls have ears. That was the last day I spoke about it. So please, you want to sleep with her consent. But if you want to sleep with her without consent, don't ever involve yourself with rape. Because if you sleep with a girl without her consent, you have positioned yourself to be destroyed. You have positioned yourself for destruction. Don't you ever do that. So these are some of the things that's so important that you adhere to. So all these things I'm saying now, if I had the opportunity, maybe if I had the opportunity, I heard some of these things, I would not have done what I've done. I would not have carried out some of the actions that I carried out, some bloody actions. But I thank God also, because even as a courtist then, there was a restraining power. There are many things that I want to do then, I stopped. Something pushed me to stop it, not because I was good, but because there was a force in me that was trying to limit me from carrying out so much atrocities, so much atrocities. So for the next 2, 3 minutes, the time we have, I want to say this today. We are looking at the power of imagination. The power of imagination. It's so good because you see, one of the reasons why we're given brain and given the power of imagination is that nobody can arrest you for what you think. One of the first books I've ever written in my life is the book on the mind. The mind is so powerful. You can build a house in your imagination. You can own a craft in your imagination. You can own a company. You can be the governor of Lagos State, the president of Nigeria in your imagination. Nobody will get you arrested. So you must have a positive mindset and a creative mindset. And I want to advise you that you always write down those things you think about. Write them down. Those things you believe that you want to do in life, jot them down. Be creative in your imagination. You see, because everything you are seeing now, they are products of thinking. Somebody just feel we need an AC. Somebody feel we need a fan. Somebody feel we need light. You understand? God himself knows that the vehicle, the aeroplane, the vehicle, the Okada, machineries, they will need diesel, they will need fuel, they will need petrol. God knows that already. So what he did, he placed crude on earth. The crude has been on earth for the past 10,000, 7,000 years, right from the day of creation. God created crude on earth. He knows we will need it. But again, there are people who finally discovered that we need this crude, and they begin to think towards it. And God allowed them to discover it so that they can begin to refine it for it to be used. So you must be creative in your thinking. What do you want to become? There's so much problem on earth. You might just think that everything in life is about problem. Problem has its own advantage because the world would not have gotten to the extent to which it is today now without problem. People see problem and they begin to think towards finding solution. So in this, I want to advise our youths in this country. There's so much problem around, so you must think and be very creative. How do I solve this problem? Tomorrow we'll think more on it. We'll proceed more. We'll start again with this imagination, the power of imagination. Somebody decided to think outside the box. Thinking outside the box. You know, I so much believe, and I know that it's true, that God will not allow a problem on earth to tie a solution. Before the problem, there's always a solution before any problem on earth. So if you think that Nigeria is this, Nigeria is not working, Nigeria, we have problem, we have this, it's because people who are supposed to think are not thinking enough. Think of solutions, don't think of problem. Every country has its own challenges. I mean, just look at what happened in America. Look at the younger Charlie, just 31. Charlie Kirk that was killed by a madman in the US who just took up gun and shoot him, maybe because he has different political views. You don't solve problem by creating more. And the same thing we're having today, we have APC, we have ADC, we have PDP. These are politics. We are not supposed to destroy the nation because you belong to a party and you feel that the party in government does not believe in your ideology, does not do what you want to do, so you want to pull it down. We don't need that. You don't need to pull down the country because you don't believe in your belief. We are created to have different beliefs. You understand? So what we do, you don't need to be in the party to provide solution. We have issues right now. We have issue with NEPA, we have issue with this. So how creative are you as a young boy, young guy? God placed you in Nigeria. God saw you. God knows that you will not be useful in America. You will not be useful in Germany. And He allowed you to come to Nigeria because He feels you'll be useful in Nigeria. So how useful are you? You are blaming government, blaming this, blaming this. You yourself, what have you been able to do to solve this problem? We have crisis. But what steps are you taking to solve it? So I want us to be very creative in our thoughts. I want us to be very positive in our imagination. That this country belongs to us. If the country works well, we all will benefit from it. It doesn't matter the party you belong to. It's not a do or die affair. There was a time the PDP was in power, 16 years. They were in power for 16 years. So now the APC are in power. It's not a do-or-die affair. We should allow the people to vote who they want to vote, and we'll see what they can do. After all, when the PDP was in power for 16 years, they didn't take Nigeria, they didn't turn America to Nigeria. They didn't turn Nigeria to America. Nigeria still have its own challenges. Over 16 billion was spent during Obasanjo's time to fix NEPA, and yet NEPA was not fixed. Atiku was there, was chairman of privatization, blah, blah, blah. Privatize. They privatized most of the things they put in their pockets. Sold all our assets. Nothing meaningful come from it. Why don't we be patient? We'll get it right one day. Let's be creative. We don't need to find ourselves in a Nepal situation. We don't need it. We should think. Think. In every poor nation, you have intelligent people. As a young boy, I would advise you to make use of your brain in finding solution to Nigerian problem. You don't need to be in government. Being in government might even be a distraction. Be very creative, because you are sent here by God to be able to make life better for other Nigerians. Think towards that direction and take Nigeria out of the crisis that we find ourselves today. I know that tomorrow will be better if you can only think ahead. Until we meet again tomorrow, I just want you to know that you can provide all the solutions that we need. We don't need crisis. We don't need to be in crisis. Let's be solution conscious as we provide solutions for whatever crisis we are going through. Take good care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. You are a blessing to Nigeria. Don't become a curse. Have a great day.